Hi everyone, my name is Katie and I'm the Senior Study Abroad Coordinator at the Office of Study Abroad and International Exchange. I'm going to be telling you more about the Gilman Scholarship today. There are going to be timestamps down below if you're looking for a specific part of the presentation. And without any further ado, let's jump right in. I'm going to cover a bit of information about the Gilman Scholarship and its goals, some basic study abroad information, Gilman Scholarship eligibility and selection criteria, the application process and essay prompts, application tips, and resources for continued scholarship and study abroad support on campus. All of this should help you put together a competitive application. And even if you haven't decided on a study abroad program yet, you'll walk away with helpful tools and next steps. There is a worksheet that hopefully you've been sent either from an info session that you've attended previously or that you've gotten from your study abroad advisor too, and I'll reference that a few times today. The Benjamin A. Gilman Scholarship is a program of the U.S. Department of State with funding provided by the U.S. government, and it's been administered by the Institute of International Education since the beginning of the program in 2001. So this year is 20 years of the Gilman Program. It has become the largest U.S. undergraduate scholarship supporting U.S. students of high financial need to participate in study abroad programs and international internships. Gilman is one of many vehicles to help students go abroad through scholarships. But it's more than just a scholarship, it's really a program. It's the access to a life-changing experience and to an opportunity for students to give back to their fellow students through follow-on service projects, and to become a part of a legacy that will continue to give them ongoing opportunities. The Gilman Scholarship is sponsored by the Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs, or ECA, in the U.S. Department of State. ECA leads a wide range of academic, professional, and cultural exchanges with the goal of increasing mutual understanding and respect between the people of the United States and the people of other countries. And the Gilman Scholarship is just one of the many programs sponsored by the ECA, and Gilman Scholars become a part of a network of about 40,000 people who participate in ECA programs every year. Gilman is within the Office of USA Study Abroad, which is committed to promoting mutual understanding through the people of the U.S. and the people of other countries, as well as shaping and sustaining a more peaceful, prosperous, and just world by increasing and diversifying participation in study abroad. So please check out their websites for more information. By supporting undergraduate students who have high financial need, the program has been successful in supporting students who have been historically underrepresented in education abroad, including but not limited to first-generation college students, students in STEM fields, ethnic minority students, students with disabilities, students attending HBCUs or other minority-serving institutions, students attending community colleges, and students coming from U.S. states with less study abroad participation. Since the program's beginning in 2001, more than 31,000 bright, ambitious, and diverse American students have received a Gilman Scholarship to study or intern in more than 150 countries and come from more than 1,300 universities around the nation. For the entire academic year, the Gilman Program will award over 3,000 scholarships, including awards for the inaugural Gilman-McCain Scholarship and awards associated with some government partnerships, like the new Gilman Portugal Scholarship or Global Wales Scholarship, the Education New Zealand Scholarship, and more. Recipients can receive up to $5,000 to use towards program costs and related expenses, and that includes tuition and fees, room and board, books, local transportation, health insurance, international airfare, passport, and visa costs. Personal expenses like clothing or entertainment, electronics, and excursions that are outside of the program are not eligible. Award amounts will vary depending on student need, strength of the application, and program cost. Students can apply the scholarship toward a fall, spring, summer, or January intersession, May or August intersession, or even a full academic year program. The Gilman Program is often asked by students, what are the chances of me receiving a scholarship? Well, generally 1 in 4 students are awarded a scholarship. If selected for a Gilman Scholarship, I want to make sure you're aware recipients are going to use a password-protected and secure Gilman recipient portal to put any fund distribution information. So recipients of the Gilman Scholarship will never be contacted by phone or email to provide personal bank information. Applicants who are studying a critical need language in a country in which the language is predominantly spoken can apply for a supplemental award of up to $3,000 for a combined total of up to $8,000. That's called the Critical Need Language Award, or CNLA. This slide shows the list of current critical languages, but please also check the website, as the number of eligible countries and languages supported by the CNLA are subject to change based on U.S. State Department travel advisories and priorities. In addition to receiving additional funds for language study, students who win this award and complete their Gilman Scholarship requirements will be offered the opportunity to take the oral proficiency interview. This test and the results will serve as both an evaluation measure of the award and as a credential for the award recipient. When you become a Gilman Scholar and have completed your follow-on service project within 6 months after you return home, you get to have access to many different benefits and opportunities. Remember, like I said, the Gilman Program is more than just a scholarship. It really is a program, and there are added benefits in addition to the scholarship money that you can receive. One of those is non-competitive eligibility. Alumni of the Gilman Program are eligible for 12 months of non-competitive eligibility hiring status with the federal government. It allows U.S. federal government agencies to hire eligible exchange program alumni outside of the formal competitive job announcement process. Gilman alumni can also compete for certain federal employment jobs that are open only to federal employees. It's a benefit that basically allows Gilman alumni to jump to the front of the applicant line when applying for certain federal jobs. It doesn't guarantee them a job, but it makes it easier to be hired. You can find out more information on non-competitive eligibility on the U.S. Department of State's website. And if you successfully completed your program abroad within the last 3 years, you may be eligible still for this non-competitive eligibility. Through the Gilman Alumni Portal, you can request a certificate of achievement that will provide record of successful program completion, certifying your start date and validity of non-competitive eligibility. There's also the Gilman Scholar Network. The Gilman Scholar Network is the official site for Gilman Scholars and alumni to connect with one another via a secure and private platform. The Gilman Scholar Network also gives Gilman Scholars and alumni access to exclusive job postings and Gilman events. There's the Gilman Alumni Ambassador Program. They serve for 1 year as official representatives of the U.S. Department of State's Gilman International Scholarship Program. They provide testimonials about their Gilman Scholarship experiences at campus presentations and offer application tips via written articles, videos, webinars, and other special events. There are seminars and career workshops, and these events are available to all Gilman Scholars and alumni to network and connect with other alumni. These workshops are also a great place to learn about a lot of career opportunities. And, of course, continued skill development. When you go abroad, you learn new skills such as adapting to change, maybe learning a new language, definitely how to communicate with others, and much more. There are 2 application cycles for the Gilman Scholarship Program each year, and there are 2 deadlines to keep in mind. The applicant deadline, which is the deadline for students to have submitted their application, and the advisor deadline, which is the deadline for both advisors to have completed their certification of the student's application. You only need to worry about the student application deadline. Your study abroad and financial aid advisors will be automatically prompted to certify your application by the advisor deadline date that's a week later. The October 2021 deadline cycle can include programs, study abroad programs for spring, January, summer, fall 2022, and academic year 2022 to 2023 programs. This application opens in mid-August, and the student deadline is October 5th, 2021 at 11:59 p.m. Pacific Time. The advisor certification deadline is a week later, October 12th. Advisors can't certify your application until you have submitted your application by the 5th. There's another application cycle in March, so if you apply in October but you're not awarded and your program starts after May, you can reapply in March. We highly encourage applying early, but there's still time to apply in March too. Please note again that the application deadlines are at 11:59 p.m. Pacific Time. Let's cover some study abroad fast facts to introduce you to study abroad at the U of A. So what are the basics that you should know about study abroad at the U of A? There's a really great video on our Explore page on our website at studyabroad.uark.edu, but to give you a very quick overview, the minimum GPA for most programs is 2.5, and we have program options for students from all majors. No matter your area of study, we have a program for you. The program portfolio at the University of Arkansas includes over 1,000 study abroad programs to ensure that there's an option for every student. Each year, U of A students study abroad in over 50 countries, from Central and South America, throughout Asia and the Middle East, Europe, Africa, and Oceania. The most popular locations to study abroad are Italy and Spain, But we also have programs more off the beaten path in locations like Mongolia, Belize, Poland, Switzerland, Argentina, and so many more. Our program portfolio includes a variety of program lengths spanning all terms: intersession, spring and fall, the academic year, and for various lengths of time during the summer. Students can study abroad beginning the summer after their freshman year and at any time throughout their degree plan. There is no rule or best semester that fits all students, and in fact, some students study abroad more than once. Study abroad programs at the U of A are divided into 4 basic groups: the Rome Center, faculty-led, exchange, and external programs. Many programs include additional high-impact practices such as internships, research, and service learning opportunities. You will earn academic credit, either direct U of A credit or transfer credit. And how do you make it happen financially? Well, we have really good news. Not only does our study abroad program portfolio include dozens of programs that have a similar cost of attendance to a semester at the U of A, but students can also use their existing scholarships and financial aid towards study abroad. Additionally, there are dozens of scholarships specific to study abroad that our students apply to, including U of A study abroad scholarships, of course the Gilman Scholarship, and more. Next, what are the eligibility requirements? To be eligible for a Gilman Scholarship, an applicant must be a U.S. citizen, an undergraduate student in good standing, receiving a federal Pell Grant during the time of application, or provide proof that they will be receiving a Pell Grant during the term of their study abroad program or internship, applying for a credit-bearing study abroad program in a country or an area with an overall travel advisory level 1 or 2, according to the U.S. State Department's travel advisory system. I'll explain this further in a moment. In the process of applying to or accepted for a study abroad or internship program or virtual international program that's eligible for credit from the student's home institution, and at the U of A this can be either U of A credit or transfer credit. Multi-country and area programs are allowed, and proof of acceptance is required prior to award disbursement, but you don't have to be accepted to your program yet at the time of the Gilman Scholarship application. The Gilman program no longer has a minimum program length requirement, and virtual programs will be eligible through summer 2022. A little bit more on virtual programs in a few minutes. Note that Gilman Scholarship recipients can only receive the scholarship once. If a student previously declined the Gilman Scholarship, they are welcome to reapply as long as they still meet all eligibility requirements listed above, but you can only receive the scholarship once. If the country where you choose to study is at a level 3 or 4 only due to COVID-19 at the time of the application, the Gilman program will still review your application. In the event that an applicant is selected for the Gilman Scholarship, and if the destination country is still at a level 3 or 4 by the time the program starts, then the recipient will be required to change their program or defer or decline their Gilman Scholarship. Visit the Gilman Scholarship's website to learn more about virtual program eligibility. The following options are considered eligible virtual abroad programs, all of which must be credit-bearing: online courses at an institution based outside of the United States, via direct enrollment, an exchange program or a program provider, virtual faculty-led study abroad programs, virtual international internships, virtual intensive language programs at an institution based outside the United States, or students can also propose internationally focused programs, virtual programs for review by Gilman Program staff. Virtual programs will be eligible until summer 2022 for funding through the Gilman Scholarship. At the U of A, there are several options for virtual international internships. Visit our virtual programs page to learn more. The U.S. Department of State's Gilman-McCain Scholarship provides awards of $5,000 for child dependents of active duty service members to study or intern abroad on credit-bearing programs. Developed under the framework of the State Department's Gilman International Scholarship Program, the John McCain International Scholarship for the Children of Military Families, or the Gilman-McCain Scholarship, is open to eligible students enrolled at accredited U.S. colleges and universities who receive any type of Title IV federal financial aid. Applications for the Gilman-McCain Scholarship are being accepted now on a rolling basis. To apply, you will use the online Gilman-McCain application, and you'll be required to upload a copy of your military dependent ID to submit the application. Besides being a child dependent of an active duty service member and having any type of Title IV federal financial aid, all other eligibility requirements are the same as the Gilman Scholarship. For more information, make sure to visit the Gilman-McCain Scholarship webpage. Gilman Scholarship applications are reviewed by education abroad professionals, just like me, from U.S. institutions around the country. Here's a bit more about the selection criteria that guides their review process. This will help you think about what you want to include in your essays, which we'll talk about next. There's more information on the selection criteria on the Gilman Program's website. First, the impact of the program and the destination on the student's academic and career trajectory. A successful applicant will demonstrate how there's a coherent link between their proposed program abroad activities and their future academic or career plans, as well as personal development growth. Students should detail the different aspects of their program and articulate how their participation and receiving the Gilman Scholarship would support the achievement of their goals. Second, the community impact abroad and upon students' return home. The mission of the U.S. Department of State's Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs is to increase mutual understanding between the people of the United States and the people of other countries by means of educational and cultural exchange. The Gilman Program plays an essential role in achieving this mission because study abroad is a form of diplomacy. Gilman Scholars represent the United States as citizen diplomats in their host communities. They reflect a diversity of values, beliefs, and opinions that is fundamental to providing a balanced representation of the United States abroad. Gilman Scholars are expected to contribute to the goal of building mutual understanding by sharing what it means to be an American, learning about the host culture, and building meaningful relationships. Upon return to the United States, Gilman Scholars have the opportunity to inspire the next group of students to study or intern abroad through their required follow-on service project. The goal of the follow-on service project is for Gilman Scholars to increase awareness of study abroad and the Gilman Scholarship among their peers in their home communities and campuses. A successful follow-on service project proposal will be feasible, use one's experience abroad, and connect to diverse groups of Americans. Third, academic preparedness. The U.S. Department of State is committed to ensuring that Gilman Scholars are successful on their programs abroad. A competitive applicant needs to demonstrate the academic preparedness needed to gain benefit from a study abroad or international internship program. They should disclose any significant challenges they have faced in their academic career and discuss how they will be academically successful on their abroad program. Academic performance, particularly in the applicant's major, is important, but there's no minimum grade point average for participating in the Gilman program. Remember that academic preparedness does not solely mean GPA. And fourth, diversity of background and experience. The U.S. Department of State's Gilman Program seeks participation by the broadest group of American undergraduate students with financial need, who will benefit from the knowledge, skills, and experiences they acquire when studying abroad. By supporting students who have high financial need, the program has been successful in supporting students who have been historically underrepresented in education abroad. This includes, but is not limited to, first-generation college students, students in STEM fields, racial and ethnic minority students, students with disabilities, students attending minority-serving institutions and community colleges, and students from U.S. states and institutions with lower study abroad participation, and more. Students' knowledge, skills, and personal experiences are considered in the context of the overall impact that the proposed abroad program will have on them, how they will overcome any anticipated challenges during the program, and their ability to be a representative of the United States and the Gilman program. Note that preference should be given to those who have not studied abroad before and to veterans who have served on active duty in the U.S. Armed Forces, provided that their qualifications are approximately equivalent to those of other candidates. And there's a fifth optional selection criterion, and that is for students applying for the Critical Need Language Award. So the supplemental essay that's completed by students applying for the Critical Need Language Award will be considered using the following additional criteria. The U.S. Department of State is dedicated to supporting students who are studying a critical need language, those deemed important to diplomacy and national security. Applicants are considered for this category if, while abroad, they're taking a course taught in a critical need language, studying a critical need language, or both, in a country or area that predominantly speaks the language. A successful applicant should demonstrate a strong motivation to achieve proficiency in the language that extends beyond their study abroad experience and into their future academic and career goals. All right, now let's dive into the application. The entire application process is conducted online and has 2 steps. Step 1 is your responsibility as the applicant. The online application process asks for study abroad or internship program details, 3 essays, or the additional 4th essay if you're applying for the CNLA, and I'll talk about the essays in the next slides. and an undergraduate transcript. The Gilman program does require transcripts for applicants' current institution and transcripts from any previous institutions attended. So keep that in mind if you're a transfer student so that you can request transcripts from your previous institutions as well if needed. These transcripts can be official or unofficial. The application also requires applicants to select a study abroad advisor and a financial aid advisor within the application. And step 2 is your advisor's responsibility. Once the student has submitted the application, it must be certified by both a study abroad and financial aid advisor. The deadline for the advisor certifications is 1 week after the student's deadline. In your application, you will submit 3 essays, 4 if you're applying for the CNLA. These essays are how you can demonstrate how you reflect the selection criteria we just talked about. We're going to take some time to talk about each essay, and I would invite you to pause the video and take a few minutes to jot down some notes to brainstorm each essay. Essay number 1 is the statement of purpose and has a maximum of 7,000 characters, which is about a page and a half. The essays are important because selection panelists, who are advisors and administrators at U.S. campuses, review these applications, and this is their only way of getting to know who you are and your reasons for studying abroad. In the application, the Gilman program provides prompts for each essay, questions that you should consider answering in your essays. The statement of purpose essay is essentially a personal interview on paper. You should talk about the impact of study abroad on your academic goals, professional goals, and personal growth, as well as how the Gilman Scholarship can help you accomplish these goals. You should also touch upon what inspired you to study abroad and what challenges you have faced in studying abroad. So you should describe the knowledge, skills, and experiences that can be drawn on to meet those challenges that you may experience abroad. Keep in mind that all students applying to the Gilman Scholarship have financial need, so you can talk about that, but elaborate on other challenges you may face in addition to that. Again, this essay has a maximum of 7,000 characters, and keep in mind that in the Gilman Scholarship portal, you're going to have a spot to copy and paste your essay, and it will cut you off at the maximum character limit, so make sure you don't go over that limit. Now, here are 5 questions to reflect on while writing your statement of purpose. First, do you make a connection between your program and goals? Do you make a connection between your country and goals? Also, do you share how you will be academically successful on your program? Do you give examples of your experiences, skills, and knowledge that you will use to meet any program challenges? And do you address how this abroad experience will impact your future? Now is a good time to pause the video and take a few moments with the worksheet that you have to jot down some notes to guide you for essay number 1. What do you want the review panelists to know about you? Tell them about you and how you as a student meet Gilman's criteria. What challenges do you anticipate and how will you meet those challenges? And what do you want the review panelists to know about your program and how that program is going to help you meet your academic, professional, and personal goals? There are 2 community impact essays that are both required and are equally important. I really encourage you to read the selection criterion on community impact abroad and students return home on the Gilman Scholarship website. Essay number 2 is the first community impact essay, Building Mutual Understanding, and it requires you to answer how you will be a U.S. citizen diplomat abroad. Key aspects to this essay are how you will be a U.S. representative abroad and how you will seek opportunities to become more culturally engaged and have meaningful interactions with people from different cultures on your abroad program. This is another great opportunity to tell the Gilman selection panelists who you are and how you can contribute to representing the breadth of American culture abroad. This essay is a little shorter. It has a maximum of 3,000 characters. Here are 3 questions to reflect on while you write the essay on building mutual understanding. First, do you articulate how you will represent the U.S. as a citizen diplomat while abroad? Do you explain how you will contribute to the goal of building mutual understanding? And do you discuss how you will look for opportunities to build meaningful relationships and become more culturally engaged? Take a few minutes to pause the video and write down some notes to guide this essay. What does it mean to you to be an American abroad? What do you want your host culture to know about your home culture? And what opportunities will you have abroad to become more culturally engaged? You might be able to draw on some specific and unique aspects of your study abroad program here. The second community impact essay, essay number 3, is the follow-on service project proposal, and that requires you to make a plan for how you will share your experience upon your return home. Key aspects to this essay are explaining how you will give back by inspiring others to study abroad. What audience will you reach? And who can you collaborate with to reach that audience? And then your plan of action to complete your project. Think about the first time that you heard about the Gilman Scholarship and/or study abroad. Was it when you were contacted letting you know that you were eligible? How might you plan to help reach students earlier? This is also an opportunity for you to be creative with your project. You can draw on skills you already have. Are you a photographer, a writer? You can incorporate those talents, but you don't have to reinvent the wheel. There are lots of examples of follow-on service projects on the Gilman website, ranging from hosting info sessions at residence halls or student organizations to producing videos. This essay also has a maximum of 3,000 characters. And again, there are some examples of follow-on service projects on the Gilman Program website. So here are 5 questions to reflect on while writing your follow-on service project proposal. First, does your project increase awareness of the Gilman Scholarship and study abroad? Is your project feasible? It needs to seem like you can complete it within 6 months of return from study abroad. Do you give a detailed plan for your project? Do you include your study abroad experience into your project? And do you have an intended audience, and who will you collaborate with to reach this community? So take a few moments to jot down some notes to guide this essay. As explained earlier, applicants who are studying a critical need language while abroad in a country in which the language is predominantly spoken have the option to be considered for the Critical Need Language Award for a supplemental award of up to $3,000. This award is competitive and offered to a limited number of students each year. To be considered for the CNLA, a brief additional essay is required and can be submitted in the same Gilman application. Some key points to keep in mind are: be sure that the language that you are studying while abroad is considered a critical need language by the U.S. Department of State. You can see the list of critical need languages at gilmanscholarship.org. Any other language study is not eligible for the Gilman Critical Need Language Award. Be sure that you're studying the critical need language in a country where it is predominantly spoken. And explain the level of intensity of your critical need language study while abroad. How studying this language will further your academic and career goals, what your motivations are for learning or improving your language proficiency, and how you intend to improve your language skills while studying abroad. This essay is the shortest of all of them. It has a maximum of 2,000 characters, and again, it's optional only for students who are applying for the CNLA. So here are 4 questions to reflect on while writing the Critical Need Language Award essay. Why do I want to improve my language proficiency? How will I improve my language skills abroad? Inside the classroom? Outside of class? How will I continue to use the target language after I return? Are there opportunities on my campus or in my community? If the language is not predominantly spoken in my country of study, why did I choose the location, and what are the benefits and resources of studying the language there? Take a few moments to pause the video and write down some notes to guide this essay if you happen to be applying for the CNLA. So now that we've thoroughly reviewed the application process, let's hear a few more application tips. So you've decided that you want to study or intern abroad, you've determined that you're eligible for the Gilman Scholarship, but you know it's competitive. So you might wonder, what makes a strong application? The best tip is to begin planning early. You will need to coordinate a lot of information related to your program abroad, your academics at home, your financial and logistical resources, as well as spending some time working on your essays and actually completing the application. You also have to get a hold of your transcript, which often takes a couple of days. A survey of previous applicants indicated that it takes an average of 5 to 10 hours to complete the Gilman Scholarship application altogether. So if you begin planning early, you will be sure to have a quality application in way before the last minute. Talk with your advisors. This goes hand in hand with planning early. Talking with your advisors will ensure that you always have up-to-date information about your program and that your advisors always have up-to-date information about your Gilman application. Spend quality time on your essays. Your essays are the portion of your Gilman application that you will be able to use to fully present yourself to the selection panel. Because you will not meet them in person, and because the review panel does not make any assumptions about an applicant, you must use your essays as a chance to let the panelists get to know you. It's important to take the opportunity in your essays to really demonstrate who you are and why you want to study or intern abroad. Get across your passions and interests. A student who says they just want to go somewhere is not as compelling as a student who talks about the impact of their proposed program. For all of your essays, make sure that you fully answer the prompts and that you invest time in writing drafts, editing, and having others proofread your essays. You wouldn't believe how many students every year write they want to study abroad instead of study abroad. And while small typos are not a make or break issue, the extra steps to proofread and make corrections ensures that your essays are easy to read and that the reviewers will be able to get to know you. Before you submit your application, you have the opportunity to take some time to check for accuracy regarding all the information that you've input. Putting the wrong information could cause your application to not meet eligibility requirements and pull you out of scholarship consideration. So make sure you review your application before you finally submit it. These are simple steps, and they work best when you start the process as early as possible, not waiting until the last minute to complete and submit. Every cycle, there are students who have questions the night of the application deadline, and please know that we're not available at 10 p.m. to answer last-minute questions, so make sure you take care of any issues before that time. And finally, make sure that you stay updated with us and the Gilman Scholarship through social media, emails, phone, and other communication lines. Here are a few more great tips from Gilman Scholars. Like I mentioned before, your follow-on service project is an opportunity for you to show the impact that you can make in your community upon return home. You can get as creative as you'd like, but a good starting point is to think about the audience that you want to reach and how you can reach them. How did you hear about the Gilman Scholarship, and how do you want to tell others about it? And one of the best pieces of advice from a Gilman Scholar: if you don't apply, you'll never get it. Remember, generally about 1 in 4 students are awarded a scholarship. So if you do take the time to create a competitive application, that can give you a pretty good shot at earning up to $5,000 to help you study abroad, and up to $8,000 if you're studying a critical need language. Remember that you are worthy of support to help you study abroad. There are more funding opportunities here at the U of A, as well as through other affiliated and outside resources. Your study abroad advisor can help you look into more options to apply for study abroad funding. There are lots of ways to stay connected to the Gilman Program for program updates and information. The Gilman YouTube channel has videos from previous recipients, as well as instructional videos on things such as uploading transcripts and navigating the application site. You can also check out the Gilman Global Experience blog, which is written by Gilman Scholars while they are abroad, allowing you to see what it's like to study abroad. Or simply search the hashtag Gilman Scholarship to see more. If you have any questions, you can reach out to the Gilman Scholarship program directly. You can reach them by phone or email, and also contact them through their website. Your U of A campus resources are here to help you. Here are your study abroad advisors. Remember, you'll select your study abroad advisor and your financial aid advisor in your application. And while you don't need to ask us to certify your application, we'll get notified automatically. It's strongly recommended that you meet with your study abroad advisor to review your application. We can give you pointers and help you submit a strong application. Here at the Study Abroad office, we advise students by college, but remember that you can talk to any of the study abroad advisors here to get help with your Gilman Scholarship application. Megan Hull advises students in the Walton College of Business. Brian Pepsel advises students in architecture and engineering, as well as students applying for the Rome Center and our reciprocal exchange programs. I'm Katie Sabo. I advise students in the Fulbright College of Arts and Sciences. And for students who have majors in bumpers and COHEP, either Megan, Brian, or myself are here to advise you. There are also lots of ways to connect with us. You can check us out on social media to see what other U of A students are up to abroad. Follow our hashtag HogsAbroad. And there are lots of ways to connect with your study abroad advisor for help choosing a program and working on your Gilman application. You can schedule an appointment with your study abroad advisor using our online scheduler, or call the office to get in before the application deadline. We have drop-in advising every Wednesday from 1 to 4:30 in Blackboard, and we have general study abroad advising every weekday from 1 to 2 in Blackboard. The world is your classroom. We are ready to help you go abroad.